Back here at home, an annual tradition set to make its way back to Corpus Christi. The Fill the Boot campaign remains a strong tradition for firefighters. The campaign is an effort to give families with muscular dystrophy in hometowns across America hope for the future. The Corpus Christi Fire Department will be kicking off this year's campaign this Friday, hitting the streets to, of course, fill the boot and raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
It's something we've been doing over 60 years. So from the start of Fill the Boot with Corpus Christi, we raised over $1.6 million for MDA.
Mr. Cruz there says that Fill the Boot will be happening on March 8th, the 15th, and the 27th. If you'd like more information about this event, it's all on our website, KIIITV.com.